Greetings everybody. Today I really wanted to just take a few minutes and not necessarily just do a review on the Weedeater that I use, but kind of just do a little discussion on Weedeaters and my experience with them. So over the years, same as all kinds of equipment and all, you know, you try different things till you kind of find something that you really like and works for you best and works for your yard and landscape. I used to go to Lowe's and Home Depot and pretty much buy the, you know, cheaper end ones or lower grade ones, whatever you want to call them. And they were fine for a little while. I mean, they would work, they get the job done. But they really, you know, at times when you get through thicker stuff, they didn't have the power to cut through everything that I wanted to. They weren't as good multi-use, and then I always found they just didn't really hold up. So I started looking into better equipment, better grades, better brands, and it was about the time that I started really getting into the Stihl products. I think the first thing that I owned by Stihl was probably a chainsaw, and I really liked it and had a lot of luck out of it. And that was a number of years ago, you know, probably 15 years ago, maybe a little bit less. But then I started just trying some of their other products. Well, I originally started one of just their residential series Weedeaters, and I don't remember the actual model number of it right off, but when you go to a Stihl dealership, they'll have hanging on the wall, they have the residential grade, and then they'll have a section with the commercial grade. These commercial grade, they go through the rigors, and it's the same thing when you see all of these guys out here that cut grass for a living. Most of them on their trucks, you're going to see Stihl Weedeaters. I think they're the most popular and most common with them. They're workhorses. They put them through the rigors. They really, I think you get your money's worth out of them. The lower end ones, I would have problems with them. You know, not little stuff like flooding and things and having to do more maintenance to take care of them. And then even the real cheap ones that I bought one time, the lower end, I won't say cheap ones, but the lower end Echoes and things like that I'd have it for a couple years, and then I'd start having issues with it, or a tear up or something break on it. So I kind of just moved into this higher line of Weedeater. So what I've started using here is going to be the Stihl FS 94R. I think it's kind of the entry level into the commercial series. And I didn't want to go too high end. I mean, this one's really overpowered for my daily uses around the yard, but at the same time, it has that extra power if I do need it. I think I've had this one now probably for maybe 3 years. I think this is my third year with it. You know, it's just a great Weedeater. It does everything I need it to do. They make different head attachments that can be switched out on it to where I can put a blade on it and different things like an edge or different accessories like that. That works out really well. Some of the other features that this Weedeater has, it has a little kind of like scrolling knob on it to where you can adjust the max amount of throttle you can give it. So I kind of set mine at a level that I know I'm comfortable with weed eating at, and just move right along without having to actually, you know, adjust your fingers and push the throttle let off or give it more throttle up and down, you know, as you go through things. So I kind of just set it where I wanted it, and then I move through like that. But other than that, I mean, it's a great product, as are all Stihl products. I've never really had an issue with any of them. And I've been, like I said, used them for a number of years. I have several other Stihl products, and I'm gonna do kind of my little thoughts and reviews on each one of them. So at least, you know, if anybody's thinking about buying them for residential type use, then, you know, you get to hear a little bit about it anyway. I'll grab a description and specifications and link it down in the description so you can take a look at all the specs on the Weedeater too if you have any questions about that. But other than that, I'll go out to I have a lot of weed eating to do around my yard, especially since we put the pool in. I go around all the sidewalks and around all the pool and all the different landscaping that I've created here. But one of the main things I do in the front is kind of the whole drainage ditch up front. So what I'll do is start it up, and I'll kind of walk you through just cutting it so you can kind of see how it does and the power it has. And like I said, I'll actually adjust the knob so you can see the power levels, you know, full throttle, and then back it off a little bit.